Hi, welcome to the Lavender Cafe, and today I'm finally getting to do art content. This is something I've been wanting to do. That was the reason I started this channel in the first place, but I haven't had the proper studio to really do it in, or like the proper filming setup, but I think I finally figured it out, at least temporarily, and I'm so excited to bring this video to you guys. As you can most likely guess from the title, today I'm going to be finishing up my 6th sketchbook. I've been working on this sketchbook since April of 2023, so it's actually lasted me almost a year, which I think I just go through sketchbooks really quickly, but that is the longest I've ever had a singular sketchbook. I think part of it is due to the size. This is the biggest sketchbook I've ever had, so I guess it makes sense that more space for drawings equals more time spent drawing in it, but either way I've gotten really attached to it and I'm really sad to say bye to it, but I'm also excited to see what happens in the new one. This footage, by the way, is just me doing the page right before the last page. I was just trying to finish up this little bit, so I thought this would be good, like, intro B-roll. If you see all the writing, it's me studying, like, the composition of tattoos. There's this really good artist on TikTok. I'll put their name up on the screen right now, but that makes, like, cool, like, tutorial videos and, like, tips for designing tattoos, and I want to be a tattoo artist so bad, so it really inspires me. So I was taking some notes on that, and now I'm doing a little shiny pumpkaboo. It's just a little warm-up. I wanted the last page to be kind of like an actual illustration. I didn't really do any illustrations in the sketchbook. I try and avoid it in my sketchbooks, really, because I never really like how they turn out, and I don't like that I do a nice illustration and then it sits in book, like, closed, because I like to be able to, like, put things on my walls. But I thought that I've improved so much throughout the time of this sketchbook alone, so I thought, like, a good little send-off would be just to do, like, a cute little illustration. So, if you know me, I'm obsessed with Pokémon, so I thought as just a cute little final illustration for a book full of Pokémon drawings to do my Pokémon Violet team and my, like, trainer Sona for that game specifically. So if you see me thumbnailing right now, I'm kind of practicing and just warming up a little bit more for, like, my face as my trainer, or as my trainer Sona thing. It's hard to explain that, but you know what I mean. And then also taking notes to make sure I don't forget what Pokemon are in my team and where they go and everything. Just kind of planning out the general composition, nothing too crazy. So me personally, I've been someone that watches art YouTube for ages, and my favorite art YouTube content are kind of the ones where it's just like casual little draw with me's while the creator rambles about interests or rambles about the process, and just the kind of videos that make you feel like you're just, like, on FaceTime or something and, like, just chilling and drawing. That kind of video is, like, really comforting to me, and it's been something I've always wanted to do. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's talking for a really long amount of time. So I'm not really one to write scripts. Maybe I will be eventually for more important, like, discussions, important contents, important topics. Important content. But I just have, like, a little list of topics I just kind of wanted to, like, ramble about mindlessly. And before I start going down that list, I just want to say I had to film this in time-lapse. I just because I thought it would take too long, and it's true, this was a 3-hour process, the sketching and inking process, and I didn't want you guys to have to sit through that. I didn't want to edit all of that, so unfortunately I had to just slow it down a little bit so it wasn't 30 seconds long, but now it's really laggy. I'm really sorry. I was actually struggling a lot when I was inking this also because my micron pen was, like, on its last leg and just kind of struggling, so then I started using inks and I used fountain pens, and then I kept switching between my 2 fountain pens because I didn't like them, and it just took so long because I kept switching between 3 different materials the entire time while inking this large piece. Alright, so first thing on my silly little list I wanted to talk about is just Pokemon in general, because, like, Pokemon's, like, a giant chunk of, like, my thing, you know? Like, I plan to make it, like, a giant chunk of my branding. Specifically, Ghost-type Pokemon are something that just, that's why my first Sona looks like that and is named Ghost. Like, for example, Lavender Cafe, my branding, my channel name, my shop, my everything is based on Lavender Town, which is the little spooky ghost type village. And also specifically lavender in just how much I'm absolutely obsessed with the color purple. But guess what, guys? I'm obsessed with purple because of Gengar. Gengar is my little scrungly, my little... Nah, but in all seriousness, he's just a major, like, comfort character for me. Like, Pokemon's just something that's gotten me through a lot, and it's something I, like, do plan to dedicate a large portion of, like, my creativity and my life in, because it's just something that really means a lot to me and something that really makes me happy. So I actually totally forgot that I should, like, explain my team here, because I just kind of drew them, I didn't show them, it's whatever. So we got Meowscarada, which was the obvious pick. Like, come on. You put a little grass cat in front of me and you expect me to pick the water duck or the fire crocodile? No. I want the grass cat. I actually named mine after my old childhood cat, so that was really cute. Her name's Cleo. Okay, I guess I could just go from left to right here. We have my shiny Dragapult named Waffles, who I hunted for and was so happy. I actually got him in under an hour shiny hunting, and that was really happy. Like, I was really happy about that, because I think that's really cool. I named him Waffles because I caught him when I was actively craving waffles, and I wanted to make some, and then I was like, no, I'm not letting myself make waffles till I get this shiny, and then I got him like 2 seconds later. Right under, we have Sprinkles, the Tinkaton. Tinkaton, I think, is one of my favorite new Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet. Like, bro's just a little guy that hits stuff with a giant hammer, and mine specifically, like, she, like, one-shots almost anything, and it's so awesome. And then we have my female Garchomp that I named Chompette, like from Mario, and I think that was really cute. I was just trying to think of a ground type, and I probably should have gotten a Clodsire so I could, like, have more newer Pokemon on my team, but I was just like, there's a Gibble right there, and Chompette. Love her, though. She's wonderful. And then we have my favorite Pokemon from the newest generation, Bellybolt, and I named mine Hopscotch, and he's just a little guy. Even better, a little guy that causes mass amounts of destruction. I need a Squishmallow of him, like, yesterday. Like, I don't know why they haven't hopped on that yet. Like, I love the Pokemon Squishmallows, I love the ones that they've released so far, but I want Bellybolt. And then finally, we have Ramen, my Ceruledge. Once again, I was craving ramen when I caught her, so I just... Ramen the Ceruledge, I guess. And yeah, that's my team. So I wanted to kind of transition into talking about the art itself for a little bit and just talking about sketchbooking in general, because I've been doing sketchbooks my entire life. This is only my 6th sketchbook in, like, an organized system, if that makes sense, because I have like 50 different, like, half-finished or just completely, like, I've done 2 pages and that's the end of it, sketchbooks from, like, starting from when I was, like, really little, like, elementary school, and only, like, recently as in the past couple years, I've started doing, like, an organized system where I make sure to actually, like, use the pages front and back and actually finish them, and most of the pages I try and, like, finish as much as possible, but I kind of just want to, like, focus, like, sketchbooks don't need to be like that and don't need to be perfect, and that's something I kind of want to, like, focus on for a little bit. This art piece itself was done with colored pencils. I'm not 100% happy with that decision, but I've noticed recently that I've been liking my art a lot until I color it, so I think that's something I want to focus on a lot in my next sketchbook. But I feel like art content on, not just on YouTube, but just on social media in general, kind of forces people to think that they need, not forces people, it kind of makes people think that they need to be forced into a box with what their art is and what their sketchbooks are, but it really just isn't like that. I don't want, for a single second on my channel, people to feel like they need to put in as much effort into sketchbook pages as I personally do. I don't line and color like this on every single sketchbook page. I plan on doing a sketchbook tour really soon. It'll probably be my next video, or like the one after that, of this book, and maybe of some of my older ones. But I'm a perfectionist, 100%, and that's something I really want to work on, both just in this new year and just in my art in general, and not just in my art, just in my life kind of in general. But me pushing myself to do this illustration for my final page, I'm happy I did it. I'm really happy I did it, but I did struggle a lot mentally while actually like doing it, because the entire thing in the back of my head is, if I ruin this page, I ruined this entire sketchbook, which that's looking back, not very great thinking. That was kind of a little bit stupid of me, maybe, but that's a really common thought process to have. That's not like something that no one else thinks. I know that a lot of people think things like that when it comes to sketchbooks, but honestly, you know what a sketchbook is? It's a book that you can draw in. And you don't even have to draw in it. I take notes in mine sometimes. I scrapbook in mine. I tape in random little things. I let my friends write stupid little notes. And to me, sketchbooks are almost just like a capsule of who I was in that point in time that I also practice art in. I take art study notes. I do full-on art studies, but then sometimes I just write about my day. And I treat it almost like a journal at times. Like, you're gonna see in the sketchbook tour, I tape over a lot of stuff and I put post-it notes on a lot of stuff, because my sketchbooks aren't made to be shown to people. I would like to show them to people. I think that sketchbook tours and things like that are really inspirational and really just fun for viewers. Like, they're personally some content that I really, really enjoy, but it's personal. It has my life in there. I moved states about a year ago, and my sketchbook at that point, not this one, it was before, but the sketchbook I had during that point has my entire thought process of that. It has the notes from all my friends saying bye to me when I moved. It has everything like that. And I think that's completely fine. And I also think that that's actually kind of cool. And not saying you have to do that with your sketchbook, but that's kind of what I mean of sketchbooks can be absolutely anything to you. And I really don't like the stigma surrounding, like, your sketchbook has to be perfect so that you can do these perfect little sketchbook tours and show off all your art, and it has to be completely completed illustrations on every single page, and it has to be aesthetic, and it has to have so many colors and cutesy little things and interactive elements and all these things, when at the end of the day, it's a book. It's made to be practiced in. The entire point of a sketchbook is just kind of to sketch in it, to practice. But that's not all it really has to be. And that's something I kind of really wanted to, like, focus on and talk about here, because while the only thing you're seeing of this sketchbook so far is me doing this big illustration in it, this is the only big illustration in this entire sketchbook. And that's something I actually want to do more of in my next one. I want to do more illustrations, but I also, not just out, like, in the book, but outside of it. I feel like I've been drawing for years, and I only have a few things that I can, like, put up on my walls, because I kind of just only focus on sketchbooks. So that's something I really want to do in my next sketchbook. Like, that's one of my main goals, is just creating more full-scale illustrations. But that's my personal goal. That's not something you have to do. But it also, if it's something you want to do, I think you should. That's the best part about art, I think, to me, is that it can literally be anything you want it to be. Like, you're not limited to anything. You have no, like, you're not put into any single box, if that makes sense. It's hard to, like, improv, like, what I'm talking about here, but I just, art can be anything you want it to be. You don't need to draw in a specific style. You don't need to do specific kinds of work. You don't need to fill your sketchbooks a certain way. You don't need to fill your sketchbooks at all. That's just something I like to do. But sketchbooks don't need to be perfect. That's the main thing. Your art never has to be perfect. Never. And honestly, I think art that just kind of shows character is like more interesting to me personally at all. Like my favorite thing is seeing sketchbooks that have tiny little notes in the margins and big messy like plans and storyboards and thumbnails for different pieces, and sketchbooks that just kind of show what kind of person someone is, I think are my personal favorite. But I also know there's plenty of people that prefer to see sketchbooks with bigger drawings, that prefer to whatever, because art at the end of the day is subjective 100%. And I think people forget that sometimes, that art doesn't need to be one certain thing. And I don't know if any of that made sense, but that's how I feel about art, and I think that's how more people should feel about art, because I feel like in the days of social media recently, art's been kind of forcing people have been kind of forcing themselves into boxes. Especially, I've noticed on like TikTok and stuff lately, that like people are really just trying to conform to certain aesthetics. They're putting labels on everything, which if you want to label your art style as something, that's totally fine. But I don't understand why every single like artist now is like trying to like put labels on themselves. And I don't mean every single artist, just a lot of the ones I'm seeing are putting labels on their art style, like the jelly art style, like I don't know any of the others really off the top of my head, but like when people post art and the comments are full of what's this art style called? Like it's just someone's art style. I don't understand when art became some sort of big aesthetic that people force labels onto, that people live to try and replicate instead of just trying to develop their own art style. And I know how hard it is to develop an art style. Mine is still ever growing. I'm still in high school. I'm not some like big like college artist or big professional artist that's been doing this and having this set style that they make money off of. I only started my shop a couple months ago and I haven't made a single sale yet, and that's fine. But this is just kind of how I feel as someone that's been in the art community. I've been watching art YouTube since I had an iPad, and I was an iPad kid, so like a while. But that's just something that's bothering me lately, is that young artists feel they need to conform themselves into, I have to have this super consistent art style, and it has to have a name, and it has to be recognizable, and blah 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 blah. It's art, just make it. Like I feel like people just try and force themselves into these boxes, and I don't understand. I just feel like it's so hard for young artists now when everyone around them is just trying to do all this stuff. And then don't even get me started on how people treat newer artists on like TikTok. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And if there's anything you can gain from my content, whether you're a young artist or whether you've been doing this for like 10 plus years, 20 years, who knows, is just make art you want to make, and don't care if your style's consistent. Don't care if your art style is too different from other people or too similar to other people, or you're not at a place where you want to be yet and you're suffering from major imposter syndrome. I suffer from major imposter syndrome. I feel weird even making YouTube videos because I feel like I'm not ready yet. I need to keep practicing till my art's better. I need to keep practicing till my camera's better. I need to things like that, when honestly I think you should just start doing things you want to do, not really worrying about what other people are saying. And people are mean 100%, and it makes me really sad to see how people treat younger artists nowadays, because it's just, I know that if I was treated the way I've seen some artists treated when I first started, I don't think I'd still be making art today. I think I would have quit a long time ago. And now I'm at an age where if people left hate on my videos, it wouldn't bother me as much. And using social media, that's kind of something I expect. But younger kids, I can't even imagine how that is. And it's really sad to me, honestly. I did not mean for that to get kind of as serious as it did, but I still think I think the serious things are important to talk about. And just as someone who started their channel in 2023, I made a couple videos. I made my welcome home video, which did really, really well. And then what stopped me after that is that video did well, and I thought, okay, what's next? What's my next big scale video that's informational, that people will like, that will get even more views than this, and blah, 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 blah. And I am actively sitting on like 15 different fully written scripts that I still don't feel are good enough to post, but I think I'm gonna post them anyway. I think I'm gonna just do it, because I think if you're sitting on a project, whether it be a channel, a business, a big massive illustration, applying to that art job, applying to that college, whatever, I think you should do it this year. I think you should. New year, new you. Go start that project. Go start that channel. Go apply for that job. Go do that illustration. And I don't think you should wait for your art to be, quote, good enough. Because if you sit around all the time waiting for your work to be good enough, you're gonna be waiting forever. Because you will never really get to a point where you feel that you're ready. And that's what I'm trying to teach myself this year, is I finally started up that channel. This channel, exactly. I think it had a really strong, awesome start. I'm at 500 subscribers and I've barely made any content, and I'm so excited and so grateful about that. But then I got self-conscious and was going, okay, now what? Now what do I need to do? Because that was so successful and now I need to keep going. And then I stopped. And now all of the traction that my channel had died down immediately. And now I'm kind of working from almost nothing again. So if I hadn't done that, if I had just kept going and not worried so much about the finer details and not had that giant sense of like imposter syndrome, I think I'd be at a better place right now. But it's also okay that I'm at a smaller place. I know I can work from this. And it's not like I'm ruined forever, but that's kind of just what I mean. And like, if you're wanting to wait until you're perfect, you're never gonna be. You're never gonna get anywhere, and you're just gonna sit around. And then eventually, you're gonna wish you started sooner, and you're gonna wish you had kept up sooner, and you're gonna wish that you had not held yourself back from the things that you wanted to do just because you were waiting to be perfect at it. Think about, like, any YouTuber you started watching. At least I know most of the major ones had a little bit of a rough start. Think about, like, some of the big names, like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Dan and Phil, people like that. Their first videos were rough, dude. Like, camera quality was not great, the content wasn't amazing, that kind of thing. And now think about where they are, you know? And it can be really easy to compare yourself to big names that have been doing this for years and have plenty of money to get the perfect stuff and pay people to edit for them and that kind of thing. And it can be so easy to compare yourself to them, but they weren't perfect when they started, and that evidence is on their channels, you know? So honestly, just if the way I see it is, if you want to end up like them, you gotta start the way they did, and they did not start being perfect. So I think that you should do that thing this year, and I will hype you up so hard because I'm impulsively starting, not really impulsively, I'm starting everything, and I act like it's impulsive and I go, yeah, well, whatever, it's whatever. But this is something I've wanted to do for ages, and there's nothing wrong with the fact that I'm finally doing the thing I wanted to for ages and putting in my all. And the videos are not going to be perfect. I'm currently recording this on a microphone on my phone in CapCut. I have a better microphone. I actually don't have a better editing software, guys, but I usually edit CapCut on my computer, and that's not bad. I'm doing everything on my phone because I recorded this before realizing that my computer doesn't take like long videos and stuff like this as easily without it being a super long process with a bunch of steps. So I can't upload everything like I thought I'd be able to. And I could have easily scrapped this footage, waited till I had a better camera or a better system to be able to upload things on and not have to edit on my phone. But you know what? Screw it. I had this is so many hours of footage. I'm proud of how this came out, and if the video is a little bit lesser quality because of my mistakes, I'll just make sure to fix it in the next one. I'm not gonna wait any longer, if that makes sense. I don't actually... Maybe I should write scripts, because I actually don't know if anything I'm saying is making any little bit of sense, but I'm just kind of speaking my mind, speaking about things I'm passionate about, and if I'm making sense, awesome. If I'm not, I'm sorry. But on that subject, I'm gonna talk a little bit about what I'm really excited to use this channel for. I think something I'm really excited to use this channel for in general is boosting my art goals. I get to use video creation to fulfill my goals, which is really exciting to me, because especially considering one of my goals is video creation. But like, for example, I'm using this video to do a giant illustration and talk about things I'm passionate about, and I don't know if I would have had the confidence or anything to do this giant illustration if I didn't know I was using it for content, if that makes sense. And the idea of making content sometimes can feel back to the previous subject, can make people feel like they have to do art a certain way and have to do these major illustrations and stuff. And that's not true either. That's just something I want to use my channel for, and that's something I'm excited to use my channel for, is to make videos out of fulfilling my goals and showing you guys how rough fulfilling goals can be sometimes, and how there's gonna be mistakes. Like, me personally, I kind of wish I didn't use colored pencils for this piece, and I kind of wish I painted it instead. And I look back on that now, but that's okay, because it can be a little rocky fulfilling goals, and you're gonna have your ups and you're gonna have your downs, and that's something I want to show all of that in this channel when I fulfill goals and stuff and when I work toward things. But even then, I wish I painted this piece. But am I good at painting? Absolutely not. I've barely done any, but I'd like to be better at it. So I want to make videos showing you guys kind of how I work to improve in painting, the art studies I do, that kind of thing, if that makes sense. But I'm also just kind of excited to have a place to ramble my thoughts out. Like, I literally have been talking your guys' head off for almost half an hour. And if you're still listening, awesome! Love ya! But I like talking. I like having a place to talk. And I'm really excited to continue to take art seriously through content creation, because I've been watching YouTube for as long as I can remember. I've been like intaking art content for as long as I can remember, and it really shaped the way I treat art now and the way I am today, and I hope to maybe do that for other people. I think it's really cool to be doing the thing that I've been wanting to do since I was a little kid. So yeah, I don't know how much of this was really coherent, how much I repeated the same things over and over again. Maybe I'll write a script next time, but maybe I won't, because who cares? Like who cares about making things perfect? I'll figure out my own system, you know? But anyways, I hope you at least got something out of this video, whether it was, oh my god, I should go draw my own Pokemon team, or oh my god, I need to stop labeling myself and do my own thing in my art and go make that channel, or whatever. Either way, I hope you got something, or maybe I just was able to keep you company while you worked on projects, or while you cleaned your room, or while you were just lying alone in your bed, or anything. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really excited to make more art content in the future. Like, I'm already planning like 5 different videos. I started my new sketchbook. Like at the time of editing this, I started my new sketchbook just yesterday, and I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to be able to take art seriously. That's something I've dreamed of doing my entire life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this piece. I had a lot of fun working on it. While it didn't turn out as like it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to, but I think it was a really nice send-off to this sketchbook and a good start-off to this era of content creation I'm doing. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed listening to the things I had to say, and I hope you enjoy watching the little artwork and stuff happen in front of you. And just thank you for stopping by the Lavender Cafe today. I hope to see you again. Drink some water. Make that channel. Go do that thing. Go draw a persona. Go be cringe. Go do something silly. Go have fun. Just enjoy your life. And I hope to see you in the next video, and maybe even drop a little like, maybe even drop a little subscribe, maybe even go check out my shop. Either way, just have a good day. Bye bye.